Hey guys, Rinji here. Once again, bring you the worst out of the VTuber community. And today we have a big crossover event that happened on Twitter just recently, not even a day ago, where the popular online publication Exerto has posted about a specific bill being passed in Texas, as Texas senators have anonymously passed a bill that, if signed into law, would make several games, anime, and manga serious illegal to own in the state. The bill bans any obscene depiction of a minor or someone who looks like a minor. And this whole thing started its own shitstorm on Twitter, as they usually do. Can probably imagine. And you don't even have to imagine. You can just go to this tweet because it's still up. Check the quote retweets with all kinds of people celebrating censorship in one particular state of the United States. And a lot of them have been already found out to be hypocrites. And I'm just going to be talking about one of them, because if I decided to dwell on it in detail, if I decided to go in deep, I would be sitting here all day. And that's not what I want to do, and that's not what I want to make you suffer for. No, I'm not gonna do that this time around. So, without further ado, let's check out one of these people that decided to, celebrate this sort of thing, because censorship is just such a good thing. It's not a slippery slope, especially when art is involved. And let's not forget the very prominent word here that is obscene. I'm gonna be discussing this a little bit later on in the video. Tell you what a dangerous word obscene is in legal terms, in legalese in general, when it comes to passing laws like this. But let's take a look at this tweet from Anti, as he describes this situation. Many people are celebrating this because they don't like lolicons, but they don't realize that this bill is loosely worded. It will ban many popular anime, manga, and games, etc. And to that, a particular VTuber, because that's my forte, this wouldn't be a VTuber video without a VTuber, of course, decided to reply with this. Here's a slime VTuber that calls himself Morex, that decided to say this. All your favorite ones? Maybe you shouldn't sexualize children, real or not. You people did this to yourself with your maps bullshit. It's very telling that you are upset about the law to protect children from being sexualized under the premise that it's just a drawing. Well, first of all, I have to say, what a stretch it is to compare any lolicon to a map, considering how badly and how egregiously the lolicon communities have been fighting against maps, and comparing the two is just not right, as these two things are just like oil and water. They just do not mix. And then it just got so much worse. Your channel is dead. Your streams are ass. And you're so mentally underdeveloped. You can't tell fiction apart from reality. So if you're sorry for your parents, it's their own fault for bringing you into this world instead of using a condom. And then they reply, oh no, pedo is talking shit, whatever shall I do? I'm so scared of the fat pedo, LMFAO. And shit flinging aside, it's just, of course, it continues. What will you do? Nothing. You will do nothing because that's what you blowhards always do. You will do nothing because that's what your words are worth. You will do nothing because that's all you whiny pissants are capable of. Now back to the mines. Musk needs your rent because it's a verified account. Oh, wah cries that pedo bitch. Doll, look at you. Tweeting in front of a mirror. Don't worry, I'm sure with enough practice, Your chickpea brain can think up a better insult without frying itself from overthinking. Really get back to streaming though. The verified badge isn't gonna pay itself. Gets called out for arguing for sexualization of minors. I know what you are, but what am I? So that's why you're attracted to prepubescent bodies? Because you don't know how to grow up? Well, wouldn't that make them mentally deficient and not a pedophile? Just, mixing those two things up. But I don't think they thought what they typed down here very well through. Let's continue. You like Dragon Ball? Banned. Soul Leader? Banned. Fire Force? Banned. Name it, and it's probably banned. Self-report. Does she call a child in a bathing suit sexual? Triple question mark? Dragon Ball has Bulma flash Roshi while she's bottomless. Not to mention Goku running around naked on occasion. Soul Eater has a scene of Blair in the bath. Fire Force has the resident fanservice girl with the shit luck who usually ends up naked. The fuck did you think I meant? And you admit those things are wrong and should be censored? Bruh. That means the show in question's gonna get banned. In short, no anime for any of us. You under-flavored casserole. Well, that's a very creative insult. I should take note of that one. Let's continue. Oh no! Evil drawing equals speedo. This ingenious remedial filth, God forbid one of you freaks has a real argument aside from comparing G-rated shows. Yeah, G-rated shows, Dragon Ball, Soul Eater. Even Bleach, those shows aren't G-rated. Shows that have kids in them to being the same as lolly hentai that's mostly just rape and incest to justify their sick fetish for prepubescent bodies. Well, come on now. It's not all rape and incest. It's just a subcategory, my good dude. As if, they're only talking about lolly hentai in particular. As I was saying, and let's discuss this right now, the word obscene is very vague. It's very loose when it comes to legalities. Because there is no accurate social standard for what obscene actually is. It's regarding cultural norms, and that's even a vaguer thing. Because where one would commit such a crime, they would be judged by their peers. When we talk about the United States legal system, that is, so that would be in front of a jury, and that jury is gonna be composed out of all kinds of people from different walks of life, and what is obscene to every particular one of them is gonna be very different, and such a law and actually trying to prove someone is guilty under that is just a matter of personal preference and a matter of personal morals, if you even want to count it as that. It's very reminiscent to a law from the early 2000s called the Protect Act that has been since deemed unconstitutional, that is, and it dealt with, and it was even worded in a very similar way. That depictions of minors, whether be they real or just drawings, they don't even have to refer to any living person. And if any of those would be obscene, it would be breaking the law. But again, the word obscene is so vague and it means so very little that, in all broad terms, that law has been deemed unconstitutional, and it's almost impossible to enforce with any sort of standard behind it. So with that out of the way, let's continue observing how this Mr. Morix, the slime VTuber, has been crashing out, or whatever zooms call this kind of behavior nowadays. Obscenity is vaguely worded on purpose, as I said. It goes past anime too. The Boondocks is obscene, and none of the children are sexualized in it. It is specifically targeted as sexualization, you fucking know it. But there's the disingenuous party at work equating apples and steak to make a retarded argument for allowing sexualization of children as usual. There's the same people trying to put on drag shows in kids' libraries in front of children. Yeah, lolicons, the people that are popularly advocating for that kind of behavior and not fighting against it every step of the way. That's some delusions right there. They're the same people that want to normalize or at minimum list pedophiles as a disability. I don't think that's the case. It's the same people trying to give hormones to children. They're all the same. Yes, the lolicon community, famously known for wanting to drag up children and put them on hormones for gender transition. No, it's not, you retard. You literally thought I was trans, which I'm absolutely not, and you're probably still a dumbass to think I am when I said I'm not. Yeah, sure. You're a real woman. Smiling, winking double emoji. You're truly, absolutely a retard, because nowhere have I ever said I'm a woman. So you're a molester. Let's continue. The real child molester is you, who said that I probably fantasize molesting my little sister simply for defending fictional content. Seriously, go fuck yourself, you disgusting pedo freak. Fictional content that fantasizes and glorifies molesting younger siblings. Nowhere in your argument have you ever mentioned fictional content. Retard. And here's them underlining the part where they accuse them of fantasizing about molesting their little sister. Because, you know, when you don't have any argument, just call someone a pedo online. Always works, doesn't it? Especially nowadays. Let's move on. You understand laws have unintended consequences, right? It doesn't even say minors. It says young looking. Who decides who is young looking? And that's another thing. It doesn't have to be an actual minor, which, you know, a canonical age in their story being underage. It can also be a character that looks to a particular person as young. And I've seen all kinds of people out there saying that characters, anime stylized characters with amazing curves, big bountiful breasts, and, you know, ties that go on for ages, that characters like this are pedo bait and only pedophiles are attracted to them. I've seen arguments like this, and if you've been online for as long as I have, you've probably seen them too. One popular occasion that comes to my mind was when Jason Schreier, a popular quote-unquote game journalist, went after what was that? Dragon's Crown, yeah. Went after the Dragon's Crown artist and mentioned the character of the mage, of the female mage, or was that a witch? I don't remember anymore. But either way, that character was curvy and exactly the way I described it before. And Jason Schreier said the same thing, that a character like that appeals to, you know, people that fantasize about underage children. Insane. But let's continue. We shouldn't stop pedophilia because it might have unintended consequences for pedophiles. Pedophilia is about actual children. Lolicons have fictophilia, which means to get off the fictional characters. I'd say 95 to 98% of all lolicons react to pedos the same way as anyone else. These freaks just say they need the animated to keep them from committing real crimes. Fictophiles have literally nothing in common with pedophiles. Parents aren't going to settle with drawings, and fictophiles don't want kids. How is it so hard for you to understand? They do, when it's always drawings of prepubescent children. There's a huge difference between a skinny adult and a growing child. Those are adults. I love how you find the one adult that you came looks childlike and use it to excuse an older brother molesting his sister. Why? What's his obsession with sister molesting? Is this some sort of projection going on here? It certainly feels like that. 95% of lolly shit is just unapologetically pedophilia, and you pick one 20-year-old with a flat chest to excuse all of it. Neither were sexualized. To be fair, a lot of anime in general come with an interesting premise and good storytelling, then fuck around and make all the characters minors. Like, it could be a brutal story about Ronin, samurai wandering, finding anime, and there will be a random horny scene of the girl. Exactly, these freaks are trying to trans kids! After doing every good story, because they can't stop sexualizing children for 5 minutes. I think this guy is amalgamating a lot of things that he's mad about in his mind, and he thinks that this is actually real. Lolicons are typically right-wing and more against child exploitation than anybody else. What a lot of crap. I don't know about the lolicons siding right-wing or anything like that, but I personally believe most are just apolitical and are using whatever edgy shit to get people to look the other way, to get so outraged that they just stop looking. Well, let's continue, because that's not where it ended. Bruh, maps ain't related to us weebs. These are Tumblr, Neopro, and other keen weirdos. You're so gung-ho at hating on them that you don't stop to realize this makes 90% of all anime currently out today illegal. Everything from DBZ to One Piece and beyond. No, it doesn't. You just want to make that retarded argument to excuse your sick fetish. You do know this bill you're so happy about has already been shot down not once but twice, right? It's been ruled as unconstitutional both times, and both times it was pushed into a Republican cabinet. And the Republican cabinet, 2/3 about to 3/3. Sorry. Who currently controls the majority in the House, Senate, Supreme Court, and the presidency again? Should Goblin Slayer be banned because it uses its scenes to establish stakes? Or Berserk? I'm sure there's plenty of sick fucks who get off on the idea of those scenes, but what was the intent? Should fiction, a medium meant to explore dark topics, be restricted? To be fair, I never saw anybody say anybody's age in Goblin Slayer. That scene was heavily censored in the anime. Even so, it was still more graphic than I like. I quit the show then, and still, Aki and Joey were talking about the show and said it was good once you get past that. Oh boy, if you get your opinions from those people, then I can imagine the rest. Fiction is meant to explore things that aren't real. Game of Thrones has a lot of shit in the books on a similar level to many of these anime, but nobody wants to ban that because nobody is hurting those books because it isn't real. Game of Thrones is filth. I will never read or watch it, nor will I read or watch 50 Shades of Trash. Oh, that's a mortal authoritarian statement. Didn't say all fiction was good or praiseworthy, especially porn. However, censoring what can and can't be in fiction is a good way to start eroding free speech. Porn isn't free speech, but the above mentioned anime aren't porn. So I can draw pictures of hanging black people and it's okay by your logic, because they're not real black people. Yes, that depiction that you're making is not real. You're creating characters, and however, if you're basing that kind of picture on a real world person, then you might just be committing a hate crime. But otherwise, everything should fly as long as it's properly fictional. Let's move on. You're basically blaming a drawing of assaulting children. Do you realize how stupid that makes you sound? Are you fucking illiterate as well as a pedophile? I said no such thing, retard. I said normalizing sexualizing children in a way is fucked up. I don't care if you drew the child or not. There's a reason the drawings of naked anime children look like like naked children. It's because of the mangaka, based on drawings of real CP who was arrested for having on his CP, on his sorry, on his PC, and that's completely fucking wrong. He's linking Nobuhiro Watsuki, who was charged with actual CP, but he never drew anything like that. That guy's just outright lying. And there aren't even any prominent underage characters. Well, prominent underage characters that are depicted in such a fashion, the way he describes it in the manga. There's no such thing. No such thing in his works. And then he just goes on because he just outright believes the bullshit that he says. Crazy how this artist didn't make any loli characters in the story and was still a pedophile. Look at the dates, they aren't all stories about the one guy that are each different arrests years apart. I was talking about Roni Kenshin. But your name and tell me Galko-chan aren't really about loli either. I don't know any of these names, sorry. The stories, the people who used to prove your point have nothing to do with loli. It was just random mangaka. Manga authors that are pedophiles. And what the ones making loli hentai. Well, you know, as I was saying in one of the previous videos, I've seen I've seen a loli artist base his drawings on a picture of a very muscular black man. And that black man had such a prominent backside that the artist decided to use it as a reference. So yeah, if anyone ever asks you the question, what are loli drawings based on? You can just say muscular black man with huge derrieres, and it's gonna be true. Let's move on. And then the absolute fantastic thing happened. As Mr. Slime VTuber here turns out to be a big fan of a big quote-unquote fan of loli VTuber Fallen Shadow. And people have quickly pointed it out. Did you forget who you're following? You follow Shondo. And then there was war. Wait, what anime is that in the background? Oh, it's Food Wars. Ha 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 ha. Oh, so why do you have an anime that has a fan service of underage characters in your VTuber setup? And I fast forward through every scene, 10 out of 10 story, 2 out of 10 animation. These are those are posts that I got for free and put them on the wall of the room. I built in Second Life. I didn't make anything in this scene. Now, Judge, I didn't know I have heavily underage fan service anime posters as background in my VTuber room. I didn't know. I just watched these things that I think are CP for the 10 out of 10 story, but the animation wasn't so good, so I just gave it 2 out of 10. Deranged. And then the Shondo argument got brought up again, and the explanations for it are just as brilliant. That's a weird way to make a confession. You follow the famous VTuber on your VTuber X account. Means you're just as much as a pedo as I am. Isn't the gotcha you think it is? No, that's not only that. Also, I'm not a pedophile. You follow a large number of lolicon accounts, and is even followed by Grums. It's also fine with lollies. So yeah, I'm definitely projecting something. If I see nudity on my timeline, I unfollow. If I see a clipper post a funny clip as a VTuber, I follow the VTuber. This is how you self-report. First, to think that lolicon is just porn when it's an entire sub-genre of anime. Second, to follow people that actually repost that all the time. That also joke about and defend it many times. It's okay if you're a lolicon, it's not a bad thing. This whole fucking point is about sexualizing them, moron. Not them fucking existing. No. The whole fucking point is about them being cute. They make you think of sex. That's another self-report. And then they had to explain to him what kind of content Shonda actually is responsible for by showing him two clips, very popular ones of Shondo that circulate on Twitter quite a bit. The first one being Shondo saying something of the like as pomp, sex, 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 kani, and stuff like that. You know the gist. You've probably seen it around. And what's his response to that popular clip? I'm going to take a clip out of context to make someone look bad to prove myself morally superior, loser. And then they post another clip where Shondo says the following. I'm not going to replicate that because it's impossible to replicate that kind of enthusiasm, let's say. But he says, Connie Scunny. With very clearly intentioned what she's saying there. And what's his response to that one? So what? She knows you freaks are wanking it in her chat. She's modestly dressed, doesn't do porn with her model, and is a grown adult, but oh no, she said a bad word. Better clip it out of context. Well, listen, man. If Shondo actually knew, according to you, that her chatters were, as you put it, wanking in the chat, then her being aware of that wouldn't that mean that she enables that kind of behavior and she's just as bad as all of the other people you called pedophiles? That's that's some double standard there. But let's continue, because there's more. There's always more. How does this protect children? This akin to banning violent video games to protect people from murderers. Banning real porn would contribute more on protecting children than banning fictional shit. Your maps bullshit. You're in the wrong community, pal. There's a lot of it on Netflix, unedited and unfiltered, where children can watch it without parental supervision. It's really fucked up when my 8-year-old nephew told me his favorite show was Akame ga Kill. And no, you are the one arguing for the right to sexualize children, pedo. Well, then your 8-year-old cousin, nephew, which I really doubt actually understood anything that happened in Akame ga Kill for whatever reason. Is actually a real person, that's one thing. And if they are a real person, it follows onto the parents to actually parent that kid properly and not make them watch shows for adults, as Akame ga Kill is clearly one of those. And if Akame ga Kill is actually on Netflix, and I don't know if it is, it'll have all sorts of fucking warnings on it that it's not a show intended for younger audiences, especially 8-year-olds. But let's continue. Under this law, it will consider anime like SHY. Turtle is 14 years old and has suggestive scenes in the anime. Or VTubers like Gura, as I've seen. Since you're calling me a pedo, that will make you my peer. You absolute fucking retard. And just a little bit more. we get this one. This one is my favorite. Are you fucking retarded? Does the word obscene mean nothing to you? Well, it means very little to anybody, considering how vague it is. Fucking loser. If I can't sexualize children, all children will be banned. Moron. Obscenity laws are controversial for a reason. Fucking idiot. Because what's obscene is so subjective in the eyes of the law that even Becky blushing can be seen as suggestive. Why do you think people are against this in the first place? Fucking moron. That's usually what you do when you don't have any counter argument, just insult the guy back. Yes, you are. Tell me why you watched an ecchi anime full of underage high school girls, and the reply to this one is just simply perfect. 11 plus years ago, and unlike you, I laughed at it. I didn't beat off to it like you. So you see, Mr. or Miss Judge. When I watched what I consider to be CP, I didn't watch it to get off on it. I watched it to laugh at it because, it doesn't tickle my boner, but it does tickle my funny bone. So I had a good laugh. What I consider to be CP. And lastly, to end this crash out, he says this. How sad these freaks are making fake accounts to look like their own posts and agree with themselves. So many suspiciously new accounts that just so happen to follow them but have 0 followers, 0 previous posts, and 0 previous replies to posts before LOL. Well, all of the accounts that replied to you, the ones that I showcased, because there were many more, and we could go on for hours if we wish to do so. All of them were quite established and weren't ones with 0 followers, 0 previous posts, and 0 previous replies. This is what we call in the business cope. And as this VTuber continues to cope and continues not to stream and just yell into the void that is social media and X, obscenity laws in a society that's anywhere close to just, there's few societies like that. I argue there's none, because people are shit everywhere. Obscenity laws will not be held to a higher standard, and people that actually do know how laws like these can be abused will be very wise to them and will stop them before they actually decide to become a real thing and start being enforced. And just imagine a world like that, like the UK, I guess, where no children get protected from gangs of rapists, actual gangs of rapists, not fictional gangs of rapists. But you go after drawings of things that aren't real under the guise that you're protecting children. Whereas what you're doing is just trying to satisfy some kind of tick. You're ticking some kind of box for your constituents, that you're doing the bare minimum to protect children, whereas you're doing nothing. You're actually doing the opposite. Because you're taking away the precious time law enforcement could use to actually go after real predators out there. But instead, they go after drawings because it's easier to prosecute for a bunch of pixels from a guy that just likes anime than to do any real work and uncover grooming and pedophile rings that are so fucking prominent everywhere. Just, do the easier thing and let people pat you on the back. People that are just as dumb as you are. But for right now, that's everything, and I hope to see you on the next one. Pixels and their rights. Who would have thought?